Hi everyone, Matthew Donovan here. Day 47 of learning Czech. It's been 10 days since my last update video. In that time, I don't have an exact number of how many hours I've spent speaking, but what I do know is I've spent almost 15 hours during the month of February speaking in Czech. This is huge. That's a lot of hours. I did not expect to get that many hours completed. I do think I moved too quickly with the speaking. I think it was super important to start speaking, but I'm speaking essentially every single day at this point. If you average it out, it's at least a half hour per day that I've spoken in Czech during the month of February, and I just think that's too much. It's so very important to speak, but what I normally find is I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning so that I can talk from 6:30 to 7:30. The Czech Republic is 6 hours ahead, so 6:30 to 7:30 my time translates to 12:30 to 1:30 in the afternoon in the Czech Republic. And what I find is I get up at 6 in the morning, talk for an hour in Czech from 6:30 to 7:30, then I leave for work. By the time I get home from work, it's normally 6 o'clock. By the time I eat, it ends up being about 7 o'clock. And by that point, I'm pretty tired, and I'm essentially just wanting to get ready for bed. I'm finding it very difficult to wake up early to speak in Czech, and also to dedicate the time that I'd like in the evenings to go through on Link, make these connections, listen to audio, read text, and things like that. Because of that, once my package of lessons is finished on Link, the way it works is I buy a package of 5 or 10 lessons, 5 or 10 hours usually, and I schedule them out in advance. So once this set of lessons is finished, I've already gone ahead and booked my next set of lessons, and I've spread them out. I have 2 different tutors that I'm using right now for Czech, and I think I've set it so that I talk to each of them for about 1 hour during the week. So 2 hours in total I'll be talking in Czech. The rest of the time I'll be left to work on things on my own. I'm at the stage now where I have a basic understanding of the sentences, some words, some verbs, things like that, and at this point I think it's just a matter of input. I need to learn more words, I need to experience more words. Things that I've seen in conversation, the things that I've seen in text, I'm very familiar with them. One of the things that's right in the front of my mind right now is "So pro vás mohu udělat." What can I do for you? This is just a generic sentence that popped up in the text that I was reading, but it's been stuck in my brain. "So pro vás mohu udělat." So is what, pro is for, váš is you, mohu can I, udělat to do. What for you I can do. What can I do for you? This is just an example of a sentence that's stuck in my brain, both in English and in Czech, and I think it's this type of thing that I really need to experience more of, and I think this will come as I read more and I just spend more time with the input. For example, if I get another sentence and perhaps it says udělal, I might remember, oh, udělal is to do, right? And that comes from this sentence. Who knows, I might even see that exact sentence and I've got it in my brain. The point of the story is it's a matter of input, right? If you take in 1,000 words, you might remember 500. I'm not wanting and I'm not expecting to remember and retain every single word that I take in. I think it's a matter of taking in a lot of words, and you know, it's just like a sieve. Certain things will make their way through, certain things will stay collected, and I think that's the way it needs to be. A lot of things come in and we'll see what is retained. The important words obviously will be shown time and time again in input, whereas words that are not common might be shown once, and if I forget them, that's okay, because I'll never see it again. So it's just a matter of input, 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 see what sticks. And as I said, I've been spending a lot of time in the mornings talking in Czech, and that's great. I find myself learning words and remembering things that I've said in the past and wanting to say them again, but I'm not learning them at the level that I'd like. A lot of what I notice happens is I need a word, so I look it up in Google Translate and I say it. I normally try and say the word 2 or 3 times in the following, say, 5 minutes, but I still find that I often forget the word half an hour later. And I think this is just a fault of Google Translate. It's not properly taken into the brain. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is, and I have to deal with that. But I think that's one of the downsides of using Google Translate. It would be so much better to have all these words through input, and then I make a conscious effort to use them in my conversation. Instead of trying to have a conversation and then saying, what words do I know? I'll base my conversation around the words I know. But I think that will come when I have more input. That's the plan going forward. I also looked on Gutenberg.ca, I believe is the website. Project Gutenberg. They are an online amalgamation or consolidation of free books that were published, most of them I believe in the 1800s, so they're past their copyright date and they're publicly available. So I've gone through and I've started looking on there for some books in Czech. They'll just be ebooks. I won't have the audio to accompany them. I will look to see if that's available, but probably not. But if nothing else, I'll be able to take the text, import the text into Link, and work through the text, learn different words. There's a book called RUR. I forget exactly what it translates to, and I forget who wrote it, so not much help there. But it has something to do with robots, but not robots in the sense that we think of them now, where it's a metallic object with a built-in computer. When they say robots, they're talking about clones, essentially. There's a production line of human clones, and I have no idea how that interacts, but just reading through the list of Czech titles, I saw that one. It was an acronym, RUR, I guess an initialism. So I was intrigued. I went to look it up, and I think the plot, it might be interesting. It might be worth a shot. So that might be something that I'll read in the near future. I do want to go through. There are still beginner lessons on Link to learn some of the more basic words, but I do want to step up very quickly. Hopefully within a week's time, I'll have started on this ebook. It will definitely be a long path, and I'll probably have to read through chapters multiple times before I even have a 50% understanding, but I think that all needs to be done. If I stay in the kiddie pool forever, I'll never learn how to swim. Eventually, you just need to jump into the deep end and see what you know, and it's really sink or swim. But that being said, I just want to finish this off with one final thought, and this popped into my head on Sunday when I was having one of my lessons. 2 months ago, I could speak zero Czech. 2 months ago, I could understand absolutely zero Czech. And what I found really inspirational, really exciting for me, I was able to put together a very basic sentence. The grammar is just terrible, but let me see if I can put it together now. Před 2 měsíci, that's 2 months ago. 2 months ago, znám 0 češtinu slov. 2 months ago, I knew 0 Czech words. Nyní znám trošku češtinu slov. Now I know a few Czech words, ale and what was the last thing I said? Oh, yeah, so today, now, I speak a few Czech words, and I can speak a little. Učím mluvit trošku. So, před 2 měsíci znám 0 česká slov. Nyní znám trošku slov a učím mluvit trochu česky. So, roughly speaking, what I was attempting to say was 2 months ago, I knew 0 Czech words. Now I know a few, and I can speak a little. It was very rough when I said this to my tutor. He sort of laughed and said, "I understand what you're saying, but the grammar is most definitely atrocious." But that's what I wanted to get across. I knew the grammar was poor. When I say 2 months ago, I knew 0 words. I have to put that in past tense. I didn't do that. Obviously, this is the word order, things like that. They just aren't there. But the point of the matter is I'm able to communicate to some extent, and every single day I get better, right? 2 months ago, I knew nothing. Today, I know what I know, and in another month, I'll be moving forward. I go back to a quote that Steve Kaufman said. I highly recommend his YouTube channel. Link, he's the founder, one of the co-founders. It's the website I'm using. One of the things he said that was very, very motivational, he was learning Korean, and he said, my progress with Korean has been slow. But the thing about language learning is you never get worse. And for me, that's so motivational. Even if you're having a slow day, a slow week, whatever, when you look back to where you were when you started, to where you are today, I guarantee you that you've made progress. And for me, that's so inspirational, so motivational, and I look back on that and I reflect on that, and just to look back and say 47 days ago I knew nothing with regard to Czech. Now I know what I know, and I'm excited to see what happens in the future. So that's the update for today. Hopefully this next week is filled with a lot of input, a lot of reading, and hopefully I'll get started on that book. I'll be back with another video probably in another week, a week or so, and we'll get another update for you then. As always, thanks for watching, much appreciated. Feel free to check out the other videos, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!